Okay, so I think I'm gonna start watching Watchmen. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I know for the first episode I'm just gonna rewatch it. I feel like lying down and watching it. So, um, but maybe if I watch the other ones, I'll try to. I'm keep trying to evolve on how I'm doing this. So maybe I'll just watch it and then pause and say what I'm thinking as I'm thinking it, because my notes reading is kind of stupid. But I'll probably still take notes. Anyway, I'm gonna just putting this here for the future. So I'll watch the first episode and then say what I have to say here. Okay, so I finished the first episode. Yeah, I'd seen that before. Like I said, I still have the same questions as I did before. There was a newspaper that went by at some point that said Fate legally declared or officially declared something. I thought it was dead, but then he was there at the mansion place naked. And yeah, I I want to say I love the cast. I was never a fan of Regina King. I remember as a kid watching 227 and I didn't like her on that show because I didn't like that show. I didn't like them just sitting in the window complaining or being snarky, whatever you want to call it. So I always had that impression of her. But then she just popped up. As far as I could see, she could have been on stuff for years and years and years, but she just popped back up in the last 10 years somewhere. Well, somewhere, a couple places. But I didn't watch every show. I don't watch a lot of shows people watch. So she could have been on stuff all this time. But I didn't see her until there was a show that was trying to be like Homeland on NBC or ABC or one of them. And she was on there, and then next thing I know, she's everywhere. So, um, I don't hate her guts or anything, but I was never really a fan. Of course, I love Don Johnson. I still don't wear socks because of him. So at the end of this episode, I was like, oh, really? What are you pulling a Sean Bean on me? um, and I don't know exactly how to say his name. Yahya Abdul Mateen the second. I think you're supposed to say the second when there's a two there. I had liked him from The Get Down, which I was a show I really liked on Netflix. The Baz Luhrmann had done it, and I remember thinking I wanted there to be another season, but they never did it. Netflix was like that. They had a lot of good things that they just canceled for whatever reason. Um, so yeah, I liked him too, and Tim Blake Nelson. I couldn't remember his name. I had to see it. He's cool. He was great in The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. If you haven't seen that, you gotta watch that. Again, I believe that's Netflix. Um, so yeah, so it's a great cast, and of course Lindelof's doing it. And I got confused because, like I said in another video, I had read the Watchmen book in preparation for seeing the Watchmen movie when that came out all that time ago. So I wasn't clear when the show started if it's supposed to be a sequel. I mean, I don't remember the characters' names, so I'm thinking to myself, is John Johnson supposed to be Night Owl? I don't know, because the ship, so I don't know. And if, Jeremy Irons is playing Bait, so maybe it is that they, as time went on, those guys would now be that age in current time. So if it's sequel, reimaginings, I don't know. I don't know if you're supposed to refer back to the book or the movie. But, yeah. I know there's at least some reimagining if you're not supposed to completely throw away everything that went before. But yeah, so far it's good. I assume it'll continue to be good. You never know. But yeah, so that's after the first episode. I think I'm just gonna keep adding to this as I watch the episodes, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, so I watched two more episodes of The Watchmen. My notes aren't that great, but so far everything's really good. Lou Gossett Jr. I guess he was the little boy from the first episode who took the little baby. I don't know who the baby is now that I think about it. Um, but he said he's the one who hung Don Johnson, and I'm still not sure who Don Johnson was. But so they talked about when she had been a cop and she got shot, and I guess he had been a cop too, Don Johnson. At the time, I guess he was, I don't know what you call him, sergeant or whatever. And so when they got shot, it was like an assault that these, I guess they're racists with the Rorschach masks. They shot everybody, and they attacked like all the cops at the same time in their houses on Christmas Eve. They called it the White Night. I feel like either he said it flat out, or it seemed like maybe Don Johnson killed Rorschach. But then I was wondering if the cops then turned into Watchmen after. I don't know. And then there's a trailer park which is called Nixonville, and they got a huge statue of Richard Nixon because they like him a lot. And there's a story, American Hero story, that's all about the Watchmen. So I guess they're like of the past. But then she goes in Don Johnson's closet, and there's like a secret compartment, and he had like the Ku Klux Klan thing. I don't know if he was a Grand Wizard, but then I'm like, well, is he Rorschach? Because I was thinking he was Night Owl. I'm getting really confused about who they are. And then, so I was right. Jeremy Irons' fate is not dead, even though that paper said so. He hit the most beautiful horse. Oh yeah, and he was just seemed like he's a slightly eccentric old man now, like gone a little nuts, and he's got like these robot dummy people, housekeeper types, who he was making do a play. It looked like he was reenacting, how Dr. Manhattan became. So see, I'm like, if you're not supposed to refer back, and I don't know if you would know what was going on if you hadn't watched the movie or read the book before. So it's a little bit interesting. So yeah, and then this episode that I just watched. Let me do something a second. Okay, so yeah, I forgot that Lou Gossett Jr. is apparently Regina King's, I'm calling them by their real names, Regina King's grandfather in this. And then in this episode, the person we get is Jean Smart, who she's awesome. Been awesome since forever. Her best thing was in Fargo season 2. Love Fargo season 2. Let's see. She's FBI. She's like hunting down these types. I don't know if they're a continuation of the Watchmen, or they're just people trying to be the Watchmen, like vigilantes, like volunteer Batmans and stuff. Somebody named Revenger and Mr. Shadow. And then should have fake fireplace. I hate those. It was weird because they said masks save lives, and I was like, this isn't the first time. Like, watching this the last couple days, I'm like, did people start all this race stuff and everything that's going on in real life now? Are they getting all this, everybody's a racist? Because he seems like he's Rorschach, but his name's in here. Wait a minute. Looking Glass. He's doing the test to seem like a lie detector, but it's a racist test to pick up on racism people don't know they've got. That's why I'm like, maybe this because you don't know where people get stuff from. Like I said, maybe this influenced people to sit there and insist that everybody's a racist and they don't know it or whatever. Or anyways, so her name's Sister Night. Tim Blake Nelson's Looking Glass. Then I thought Jean Smart was talking to Night Owl in jail because she's talking on the phone. And I don't know why I said it was Night Owl, or did they say Night Owl was in jail, or I made that up. I just keep looking for Night Owl. Anyway, then she's telling stories, and I'm like, she talking to Dr. Manhattan, and I'm realizing she's the girl one. And I couldn't remember the name. I think Carla Cugino was that character in Thing. And I couldn't remember the name. I found out it was Silk Spectre. So, Jean Smart Silk Spectre. And, so she would have been involved with Dr. Manhattan, and that, Dr. Manhattan sized toy she had kind of cracked me up. This is what I'm saying. Some of these things I don't know if you didn't watch the other stuff, if you'd understand it. And then she ends up fooling around with the dude. But I guess Dr. Manhattan was mad because all of a sudden she's standing there and she's outside and this huge car falls from the sky. And I'm like, whose car was that? But, I feel like I don't know what's going on, and I feel like I'm not going to understand it. And I'm like, I'm going to make these little videos, they're not going to make any sense, I'm not going to understand anything. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch the whole thing, which is fine because it's not the fault of the story. This is just like trying to put stuff together, and you're like, this is good storytelling. This is good how to keep people in the dark while keeping them intrigued. Not like the other thing I just watched. So that was me. So I watched the first 3 episodes. I don't know if I'll watch anything else tonight. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But still trying to watch Debris. It actually comes on. It's Monday. It's 8:34 right now, so I don't know. But I will keep going and edit these together, and then we'll see what happens in the end. I don't even know if there's 8 episodes, 10 episodes. I didn't even check, but I'm gonna keep going. Okay, so I had made a video about episode 4 at least, maybe 4 and 5, but it got corrupted. No, I remember I was trying to do it, and then it wouldn't stop recording, so I don't know what happened. So, but so I ended up watching straight through now. So a lot of the stuff I wrote down, I figured out, or I know now, or I still don't know because I didn't get it. But I just rewatched the first 2 pieces, and it's so funny how wrong I was. But I ended up thinking the whole thing was really good. I should go and see what I gave each episode. The thing about that Gates guy from the Finding Your Roots show, he's the Secretary of the Treasury, and I'm like, does that mean that DNA is the treasure now? Because everything in this, like episode 4, that I keep wanting to say Lady Nada, Lady True, her whole thing was legacy, and she gave those people. I can't help it. I gotta stop doing that. Let me do this instead. She gave those people the baby so she could have the house and everything. Because something was gonna what landed there? Was that, looking back now, was that fate? What was that that landed? I don't even remember. Like I said, I'm gonna have to rewatch this whole thing. I still don't think that Don Johnson was a racist. But then I guess he was because Francis Fisher was a racist. Or maybe not. The senator, I knew he was a bad guy. I knew it. Because what's Regina King's name that's not Sister Night? I just forgot her character's name. Anyway, she told Lou Gossett Jr. something that, oh, she told him about the thing in the closet, the clan outfit. So maybe that made him do everything, because at one point she thought it did. I don't know. That gold statue of that turned out to be cool. I really enjoyed it. They got rid of Don Johnson in the beginning, and I was pissed off a little bit because I'm like, that's the whole reason I was gonna watch it when it first ran. So when it ended, that when he was dead at the end of the first episode, obviously spoilers. I'll put spoilers at the beginning written down on the screen. Um, I was like, he's the whole reason I was thinking of watching it. Now forget it. No. Um, I I don't even know what just happened. The whole screen went black. I didn't touch anything. Okay, so then I was nothing touched anything. No bug or nothing. Um, I thought everybody was Doctor Manhattan. I thought everybody was Night Owl. I thought everybody was Rorschach. Um, I kept trying to figure out who Lou Gossett Jr. was because they clearly showed that Cheyenne Jackson was the hood guy. But I guess maybe he was in the reenactment version. um, yeah. So anyway, I was pissed off they got rid of Don Johnson, but I gotta say, the amazing Jeremy Irons situation in this whole show. I mean, I always liked him. I like Virgo people when they're like that because they're serious, but deep down they're like laughing at you. So like they're half funny secretly. So the way he was in this was just perfect. And I was like, well, that it didn't completely make up for getting rid of Don Johnson, but it was a payoff there. Um, I thought he was great. I don't know if anything got awards. I gotta check, but like now, like I said, I got my notes, but since I just blasted through the whole thing, I at one point I kept going, and I'm like, nah, I just gotta finish before something bad happens. Like there's another crisis in my life, and then I forget to go back and watch it, stuff like that. So because it was really good. Um, there was one episode in the middle there I gave it 10. Let me see. Wait a minute. If I was on kind of episode 4 just there, so in episode 5. Yeah, see, I thought I missed something. Oh, maybe it's episode 5 because this one, oh, they tricked me because when they showed Hoboken from 1985, I thought it was that guy Petey. What's her face's what's her face? Jean Smart's and she's not Silk Spectre. I was guessing everything wrong. Um, her assistant guy. I thought that's who that was that went into the fun house and ended up naked in the blast and everything. But it was Looking Glass. That was pretty amazing. And I always forget that Nixon, I think, and I mean, I guess it was this way in the show. I don't remember if they expressly said it, but in 1985 in the book, I think Nixon was still president. Because it's an alternate timeline of, like, our life and stuff. Oh, and the way that Careless Whisper, like, started to fade and stuff like that, that made me so sad. I was wondering if that stuff in the funhouse happened to Damon Lindelof. um, yeah, so when the bomb, I thought a bomb went off there. I didn't realize that that was an actual squid attack from the book. And I was like, oh, good, because when I saw the movie, spoiler alert for the movie, if you haven't seen the movie, they didn't do the Squid Attack. And, maybe that should have been the sign for me that I wasn't going to like Zack Snyder's interpretations of things. But I felt like their attitude at the time was like it was too stupid, or like, how are you going to make a giant squid or whatever. Couldn't afford special effects. But it makes perfect sense because it's a comic book and you could do whatever. This is what I'm saying. You got a whole universe. You could do whatever. You got all the special effects in the world. You're dealing with superheroes. You're dealing with, you know, godlike beings of, like Dr. Manhattan. You could do whatever you want. So I was glad they did that. But, it was fate that did it, which is crazy. And, 3 million people died. And I loved that she kept saying, "Hey, mirror guy." Jean Smart. That just was awesome to me. Psychic blast zone, that's what they called it. I wanted some of that reflectotine. I think that's what they called it. His mask. Right, and he was calling extra dimensional securities. Yeah, that was the good episode. That was the 10. Um, where, yeah, there was so much going on. There was clones. He was getting the pills tested. They were the nostalgia pills. Like I said, I really thought that was Petey, and when I found out it was him, I was like, whoa, that's nice. And then the lady who comes to the meeting, the blonde lady, who's like flirting with him and stuff. It's amazing because I looked at her and I was like, I know her. When you remember somebody from something. Now, like I said, people are in all kinds of stuff I don't watch, but I was just like, I know her face, I know her face. And I'm like, Tombstone? Tombstone's one of those movies. It's one of my favorite, not top 10 or top 20, but it's up there. And so I watched it a bunch of times, and I was like, I recognized her. Tombstone must be 30 years old by now. You know what I mean? And I was just like, oh, that's her. Or almost 30 years old, probably. I thought it was hilarious that there was was it the name of the movie Pale Horse or whatever instead of Schindler's List, but there still was the red coat girl. I like those little things that are in there. And then he followed them because he saw the lettuce, and I got so scared because he didn't call for backup, and he's running, and I was like really nervous for him. And I was like, this is why this is good, because I was really like, oh my god, what are you doing going in there? And I was so scared, and that was really good. And then I was like, why are they doing this teleportation stuff? I knew the senator guy was a piece of shit. I just could tell right away. He said that they assumed leadership of the, I guess they call it Cyclops instead of the Klan. I don't know why. He said so there wouldn't be another White Knight. But they killed all the cops. I don't even know why they killed all the cops in the first place. He said something about squid pro quo, and I saw the test pattern. And then they were going after, and at the end of the episode, they were going after, Looking Glass in his house, and I got so scared. And then the show ended, and I was like, what? That really messed me up. So that was the 10 episode. You know me and my notes over here. Okay, so Hooded Justice, that's his name. Yeah, so I thought he was watching porn or something. But just what I was saying, that was Cheyenne. And he punched him right in the face. And this lady True owns the nostalgia company. She owns all this stuff, so I don't know. And what's her face had taken all the pills, right? Is this where we're at? Yeah, because she's in a coma. Oh yeah, and there was a scene. I was like, that's how you do bullet time, where Hood of Justice was like, not even floating. He was like paused, and there was glass shards and stuff. And I was like, that's how you do it right, instead of the stupid constant bullet time in some people's other, somebody cuts of movies. So yeah, it was weird because he had to, because he was Hood of Justice, he had to put the white, and his gay boyfriend was like, no, you have to be white and whatnot. See, the mind control thing comes back again, which is what was it in oh come on, I can see it. It Lost, the room they had to go to. That's what the cooker thing was reminding me of before. Um, oh, I know what it is. It's just old age. It's so bad. Yeah, so he wasn't. The Minutemen weren't going to help him with what he wanted to do because it wasn't their cup of tea, which forced him to basically explode everybody. Yeah, see, I think I didn't like that episode that much because it kind of wasn't bad or anything, but it was just her being all messed up on that nostalgia, trying to remember his memories, and then there wasn't that many memories. I'm not saying she didn't learn stuff, it just wasn't that many memories. I got a cough. So they're asking people why they were coughing. What am I even looking at? Okay, this is episode 7, I guess. Did I get to 7 already? Yeah. Okay, so it's about Dr. Manhattan. Like, I had, see, I got a spoiler a long time ago that I knew that, yeah, would end up becoming Dr. Manhattan, but I didn't know he was always, I thought that he would, like, become Dr. Manhattan. So when, um, Lady True had that machine, I thought she was going to end up turning him into, so I was waiting for that because I knew he was Dr. Manhattan at some point. But I didn't know he had, like, for the whole show, he was supposed to be Dr. Manhattan. You can find that out. So this is episode 7 already. Um, that little girl who was playing, I thought that might have been the one from Shazam, but then I was like, maybe not. She's such a cute little girl. Um, and then when the grandma, oh man, just the worst stuff all the time. And then, Agent Blake, that's her name, Jean Smart, she was being nice talking to, that's her name, right? Frances Fisher? Right? Clint Eastwood's old wife. She was like, yeah, we're Cyclops, and fall through the floor. And she couldn't get her clicker to work, so the trap door didn't work. That stuff with Ozymandias, like the game warden, I didn't understand the point of the game warden. Like he tried to explain it later, like he needed a nemesis to keep going, but I don't know. Maybe stuff got rushed. Not really. I mean, like things are going along, then it seems like things are wrapping up. You know what I mean? Um. So Senator guy was like explaining that it's been hard to be a white person. They're not racist. It's just been hard being white. And what's her face was hooked up to an elephant. I mean, I guess the elephants are not supposed to forget. I thought that was like just the thing kids said. Do elephants really not forget? Because they, and I feel bad for the elephant just laying in the room hooked up to Regina King. Uh, yeah, this is me realizing that he's actually Dr. Manhattan. Was that all of episode 7? I have so many notes. See, I started to lay down and everything. And like I said, I'm going to have to watch this over. Because, and I'll probably come up with something. I feel like I never found out who Lube Man was. Am I wrong about that? Did I fall asleep? Or is this one of those Hurley Bird things? Or did I fall asleep? So she decided what he was going to look like, what Dr. Manhattan was going to look like. So she picked Yahya Martin. Um, then the time stuff started to get confusing because he said he made Adam and Eve, but he did it after. And which I'm really glad that Lindelof got on board of the time doesn't matter thing, because I swear to God, all those arguments that against time travel and why you can't fix it, Charlie. You know what I mean? Whatever. Um. Yeah, I think that Vite was the most interesting character and the most interesting actor, obviously. I'm still confused about Don Johnson, though. I'm still confused about if he was actually a racist or not himself, because it could have just been the wife and the senator. I don't know. Now they called him taking the body as appropriation. I wrote down that elephant told him he was on Europa. What the hell? What happened? And I wrote that down. Was I half asleep? Now I don't know what happened. Oh my god. It was funny. Ozymandias was great in Jeremy in episode 9. As if some cowboy actor could obtain the presidency, because I guess Robert Redford feels like he did it himself. And I was assuming Robert Redford was going to show up, but I guess he's no fun. See, and then, you know, yeah, see, maybe it was a little rushed, because then all of a sudden she was evil. I just want to say Lady Nada. Lady Nada is an ascended master. If you watch those kind of videos and believe in that kind of stuff, and I done pick card readings that said I was supposed to be connected to Lady Nada. Apparently, there's a center for her, like in space, that's above where I live, the city I live in, which is funny that I picked that. So maybe, but every time I'm supposed to say Lady True, I want to say Lady Nada. So there's that. Um, she wants a loan because she's Jeremy Irons Ozymandias' kid. Now look, there's not a lot of shit worse than stealing sperms to make a baby when the person doesn't even want a baby, and you're just stealing sperms to make the baby, and then the baby's there asking for $42 million. No, I just forcing somebody to have a kid or getting somebody pregnant that don't want to be pregnant. There's not a lot worse you can do, because you could be a murderer, but I think it's worse putting somebody here than being a murderer. Unless you really, intend to do the right thing and be a parent and do everything right. Try to make the kid as happy as possible. And you're doing everything right for the kid. If you're just doing the stuff to stick it to the man or something, I don't even know. So then she's like, if I can take his power. The minute she said that, I'm like, oh my god. Because look, here's the thing. And this is why I was like, okay, this is stupid. Because let's say she had somehow managed to become um, the Dr. Manhattan type person. Or let's say that the evil senator guy had become the Dr. Manhattan type, not person, but thingy. You would stop wanting to be selfish. You would stop because the minute Dr. Manhattan became Dr. Manhattan, he didn't act like a normal person. Like Bran on Game of Thrones, once you become all seeing, all powerful, you don't give a shit about the normal stuff that people give shit about, like power and all that, and trying to fix the world and everything. You'd be like, oh, this is just how it is, whatever. You know what I mean? So it's stupid for people. Oh, if I could get his power, I could fix everything. What did she need to fix it for anyway? It wasn't her business. Yeah, so she was sampled 2346. What was the thing about Alexander the Great? He didn't make babies? Yeah, so, well, I'm just like, and how did Ozymandias catch a bullet? Did I get confused about Ozymandias? Because what I remember now, I thought about it and I was like, if they made Watchmen today, like the movie, where they're younger, Army Hammer, I mean, of course, nobody can hire him now, poor baby. But, he's exactly what Ozymandias should have looked like young. And back when they were making that movie, there was no guy like that. You know? Masks make men cruel. Having a worthy adversary help keep me sane. Yeah. So, yeah, so he wrote, with the dead bodies, he wrote, Save Me, Daughter, because he was up on the space all that time. I thought he was on Earth. That's why I was like, why did they say he was declared dead? Because he wasn't on the planet. That's why. So then she did save him. And apparently he's been that gold statue. He was, instead of being frozen in carbonite, like Han, he was frozen in gold. It's pretty cool. And she did make him completely cave, which is terrible. It's terrible. Yeah, I was really happy with Jeremy Irons. And he's pissed that Robert Redford is still president. What is with the terms in the Watchmen? Because it seems like people were president for way longer than they're supposed to be. It's funny when the newspaper man told him he looked like Ozymandias. He could do birthday parties and shit. Yeah, I didn't understand what that machine did. I didn't even, if it had worked, I don't understand what it would have done. Yeah, was it in the book that, was it the newspaper man or the kid that used to sit with the newspaper man that had either said the end is nigh or had a sign that said the end is nigh? You know how people wear those signs where there's a board in the front and a board in the back? I imagine that in my head. Looking Glass came to save what's the name? So that machine that went whoop, that like made, like, teleported Dr. Manhattan into that box. Ooh, I'm tired again. And I thought it was cool when the senator had the underpants. You know? I was like, oh, he's got the underpants. Yay. Um, you gave me your husband and I'm giving him justice. Yeah, I don't even know what these notes are. Oh, and he got liquefied. That was gross. You have to filter atomic energy. Just going forward, we should know this. Yeah, somebody said something about Afghanistan. I was like, what? He said, don't touch the light. And I'm going, touch the light, touch the light. I think it would have been cool if Jeremy Ozymandias became Dr. Manhattan. And they're talking about her being a raging narcissist. I mean, I don't know that she was playing it that way. I mean, okay, she cloned her mom and fed her memories, but it was interesting because all the cops were headed to that thing, like on 9/11 when all the cops were headed to the World Trade Center and it was imminent doom. I didn't understand. Yeah, so she ran to the theater. I didn't understand how the theater was safe. If they said in the 5 block area everything was going to be flattened, and then she ran to the movie theater and they just sat in there, that was a little bit confusing. That sounds like, is the theater underground? I don't understand why they're safe. Um, Bass Reeves was the name of the person in the movie that the kid was watching. So that's why he took his name, and there's so many broken eggs, and yeah, I guess I heard Frank Sinatra sing "Oh What a Beautiful Morning," and it's funny because I sang it and I didn't even know I knew the words. I sang along with it. Yeah, and I don't think everything within 5 blocks got wiped out. So there was a lot of stuff there that I was like, wait, did that happen? And then with the eggs, I was like, oh, she's got to eat the egg. I figured it out before she did. And I knew his energy wasn't going nowhere because energy doesn't do that. So he had to have put it in the egg. And I had to be a little bit miffed because of the Inception ending that they did. But yeah, it was really good. I mean, I really enjoyed Jeremy Irons. Um, I thought the cast was really good. Everybody did a good job. Yeah, I liked it a lot. Now I'm wondering if there's really leftover mysteries and stuff. Because I feel like something's missing besides me not knowing what happened to the person who slid in the sewer. There had to be other things. Like I said, some of that stuff at the end was a little bit confusing. Like, I don't know. Was that clock? They called it the clock. That thing she made, was it just supposed to make her powerful, or was she supposed to do something in there once she was powerful? Because it just fell apart and smashed. And I don't really know. I guess Don Johnson was supposed to be a racist, but I don't know because that was too shocking when the wife was like, "Oh yeah." The whole thing, I mean, I like I said, I gotta rewatch the whole thing over again, but I liked it. I'm starting to fall asleep now. I don't know why. I was fine, and then all of a sudden I just felt really tired. But it's harder to go over things like that's why I was trying to stop and pause. But since I even lost the other little piece of video there that I did, I guess it wasn't meant to be. So I'll try to chop this up into something. Um, I could see them doing something else. I think Lindelof said not him, but he's done better. I mean, The Leftovers was really good. There's always a little piece that I miss. Like in The Leftovers, I had wished that she was explaining stuff that happened in like the other world or the other timeline or whatever, and she was just telling the story. And I was like, I guess they couldn't afford it or something because sometimes shows do that. Um, but yeah, I just maybe this felt like it needed another episode in there or something. But I was really enjoying Jeremy Irons. I would have liked. I mean, Don Johnson could have come back, not as like a magical being or anything, just in flashbacks to explain. Like if there was flashbacks, maybe showing him actually being a racist, then I wouldn't be confused. Um, or maybe he wasn't. You know. And I'm sure, like if I watch it again, I'll start to understand things better. But I think a good show is like that. Um, I was glad to watch something of quality again. Even if he didn't stick the landing on Lost, he did a good job with Carlton Cuse. And I kept seeing the name Nick Cuse on the credits. I guess that's his son, which, you know, me and nepotism, but, or maybe a brother, I don't know. But, yeah, yeah, you know, it has to be creative, but it's coming from a starting point with the book itself and the movie, but it was very creative. And like I said, you watch all this other crap, and you can't imagine. Like I said, I just watched The Undoing, and it was such incredible trash. And you can't understand how both things happen, like, you know. And I wish I was talented. I wish I could do that stuff. I wish I could write like that. I'm not. um I'm an idea person, but I can't write them on papers. I can, like, scribble an idea down, but I can never make it come to anything that's sad. But I appreciate people who do amazing things, you know, if it's Twin Peaks or stuff like this. I feel better that there's stuff like that. It's like, okay, I had to be alive, but I was able to watch this thing, or, you know, I was able to go to that concert, I was able to go to that show, I was able to watch that sporting event. When there's no quality, it's depressing. It's sad. And so, like, I was trying to watch Debris over here. I can't. It's just, what is it? Tomorrow Manifest is coming back. I liked the first season. I hated the whole Zeke timeline. He's coming back, so just like, it's hard to look forward to things. It's hard to be a fan when everything is just so garbagey. So when it is this good, I want to make a point to say it, that it was that good. Like I said, I don't know what it won. It must have won stuff, but I'll have to go and check, and maybe I'll do, if I watch it again, I'll come back with an addendum. But yeah, he did a really good job. They did a really good job. Um, I don't think I have any complaints, which I usually have complaints. So yeah, overall, I probably give the whole series a 9, which is pretty good because there's not that many 10s. You know, as far as series goes, really hard because they're for so long, you know. But yeah, I enjoyed that. I appreciate it. And I hope to see something great again in the future. But you don't know what the way things are. But I will rewatch this at some point. And I've talked for 35 minutes. I really thought it was like, I was going to look down, I was going to say 15. Because I didn't say anything. Terrible. Absolute terrible.